Welcome back, Pixel Nation, Comics Division here, and tonight I want to talk about Jon Malin. Now, he has been a friend to us in the Comicsgate community. If you don't know who he is the current artist on Cable, which is a fantastic book, and I highly recommend it. Now, recently, he has come under fire because of a tweet, and Bleeding Cool has decided to write a hit piece on him. So what exactly did Jon do? Well, he basically said the X-Men were not SJWs, and that they are basically the Jews living in SJW Hitler's Germany. He goes on to talk about the comparisons between the SJWs and the Nazis. Basically, they are ideologues silencing people, weaponizing hate, using racism and socialism against people, and then claim that they are the root of social ills. That is what the Nazis did to the Jews. And that is what SJWs are doing to people who don't agree with them, specifically targeting white males. SJWs are not Nazis, but Nazis are SJWs, based off of that comparison. They are authoritarians. They are willing to use violence, in the case of Antifa. If you're not familiar with who the Bike Lock Basher is, I suggest you go Google that. As we all know, the X-Men were an analogy for what was going on in the 60s with civil rights. Now, I have to say, there is a huge difference when you're fighting for basic human civil liberties and access to equal opportunity. It's not the same thing with complaining about a white guy with dreadlocks and calling it cultural appropriation. But Rich Johnson is here to the rescue because he cannot let this slide, and had to write an article about it, basically calling Jon Malin alt-right. Wow, that's what you get for deviating from the herd, I guess. Moo. Okay, so here's the deal. What exactly is an SJW? Well, it's a pejorative term typically aimed at someone who is a progressive. Who is really fucking progressive. That they are so goddamn left, we are not even in the same galaxy anymore. Now, I think to label people who are left of center, or centrist, or right of center as SJWs is pretty disingenuous. I mean, they basically are kind of a hive mind on how they view things. These are the people that believe white privilege, cultural appropriation, judging people by their skin color, which is actually kind of funny because that shit used to be racist. And who can forget my personal favorite one, microaggressions. You know, using words like history, because it has his in the word. Oh my god, we are so fucked! Oh my god, we are fucked. We are so fucking fucked! It's ridiculous. Sorry about that, folks. Sometimes I occasionally remember that this shit is probably gonna drive us to extinction. Now, can a centrist or someone slightly right of center or left of center be called an SJW because people are dicks? Yeah, of course. But typically, when we talk about SJWs, we are talking about far left progressives. Okay, and here's where Rich's argument really gets fucked. He's comparing what Malin said to the whole Ardian Syaf incident. You know, where he snuck in radical Islamic messages in the X-Men Gold, basically calling for threats of violence against Christians and Jews. You know, that old chestnut? Calling out the bullshit of social justice is not violence against a group of people. Holy fuck, Rich, how can you not see the goddamn difference? If Jon Malin gets fired over this, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm talking ambassador of ill will here. For fuck's sake, you have people like Dan Slott and Mark Waid insulting your fucking customers? Holy shit, seriously. If Malin gets fired, I'm gonna fucking lose it, man. It will become my goddamn mission in life to convince people to never buy a Marvel comic book again. So Marvel, if you're listening, don't fire this dude, seriously. Because if you do, I'll do whatever I can to convince people not to buy your goddamn product. Now, Arden, on the other hand, that dude did deserve to get fired. I mean, come on, that's some fucked up shit. Now, What Rich is trying to tie things to, and this is where the whole alt-right thing comes in, is apparently in an issue of the Thunderbolts, Malin had Shell Beach on a sign in the background, and if you're not familiar with what that means, because, you know, it's been forever since I've seen the fucking movie, it's a reference to Dark City. Shell Beach being the false memory in the protagonist's mind where he fucking came from. So apparently, the alt-right has adopted this. They linked it. I mean, that's how they're trying to link this shit. And again, they're trying to say this is the same thing as the whole Ardian thing, and it's bullshit. And the reason why he included it in there? Because there were similarities between what was going on in Pleasant Hill and Dark City. It fucking makes sense. It's an Easter egg. Anyway, the rest of this article is a piece of shit. So I'm just gonna leave you with this Twitter exchange between Rich Johnson and Jon Malin. So what can we do to support Jon? First and foremost, go out and buy Cable. Now his run is going to end on issue 154, and then a new creative team is going to take over with issue 155. The other things we can do is let Marvel know that we support Jon, and let them know how greatly displeased we'll be if they shit-can him. Now this is a letter from Andy Dave Comics. He is sending this to Marvel. He wants to show his support for Jon. I suggest you do the same thing. Remember folks, keep it polite. Now I know I could be pretty fucking vulgar on my channel, but keep it nice, keep it polite, keep it civil. We want to make sure that we show that we're not a bunch of dicks and that we do support Jon. Keep that in mind when you go and you write your email. Now here is the addresses you can send your letters to. I also include a link to the post that Andy Dave made. Get out there folks, we gotta support this guy. If you believe in Comicsgate and you believe in good books and good art and good characters, we need to support voices like Jon. Now I know this is where I do the whole like, share, subscribe, but one thing I want to make sure you guys do is to get the message out. If you can, tweet my video or just tweet about support for Jon Malin, please do this. Until next time guys, enjoy your reads.